The Ashen Court. It's been a bit. Each of you have had a brief moment, well, almost all of you had a brief moment, just to look out over the rocky, dust-filled town that you were in, the makeshift settlement around Black Salt Mine, while, well, the dwarf you met, Bron Shattershield, decided to go fetch the person you came to see, Lord Raiden Raymatar, the bastard of the Northern Pride, which all of you had decided to seek out, in suspicions that maybe he was in cahoots with the witch or knew more, given he purchased an alarmingly large amount of mana crystals a few months back. Vickers, meanwhile, decided to follow inside and could definitely confirm a lot of mana crystals. A lot of mana crystals. It is a little bit later. Not much, just 15, 20 minutes later, when Bron Shattershield, with just kind of a loud and completely unceremonial thud, the door just kind of slams open, hitting the wall. I brought you the boy. As you see behind the young half-elf. In his adulthood, though a child by certainly the other two elves' standards by far. And he cautiously begins to already scan your group as soon as he sees you.
We are an imposing group. Ammanas understands. Yeah, but like, is he like standing by the doorway, like ready to run out, or like, what does he do?
After his initial scan and seeing his sister there as well, while he definitely looks uncomfortable, he closes the door and does approach, though he certainly looks on edge.
All right.
Though he's not, he's not put himself right by the door or window to just leap out.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, Ammanas will like indicate with his gauntleted fist that the kid can sit across from him at the table.
Just taking one of the tables inside of the workhouse. Just this is yours now.
Yeah, this is mine. I claim it in the name of the throne.
There's more radiant light now glowing in the background.
That's right. Right. Yeah. He will look at Lord Raiden, like seizing him up. See if he can suss anything out about his general feelings and moods, I guess. We'll do a insight check here.
Sure. And as soon as you ask that, my phone goes off twice. Thank you.
14.
D4 to that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need like a D4 macro. 3, so 17 on the inside.
I think you got the use of a button for bless I added, which is technically like a D4.
I suppose.
Just didn't really think of it for guidance.
I'm blessed with guidance. But yeah, 17.
Okay, 17. So, most certainly the first thing that's kind of obvious without needing much insight is he's very cautious of your group. Which, as you've already previously said, though, maybe not unreasonable. You are quite imposing.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely get the sense that he, as much as you're kind of trying to size him up, he's trying to size each of you up and trying to figure out exactly who's in front of him now. But you think, judging by you almost see kind of some side glances to him and kind of peering around, not quite in an escape kind of way, but like he's expecting there's other people here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's expecting you've brought more people than just this, or that maybe there's someone following you around. He seems
Alright.
very cautious.
All right. Then Amnas will start, and he will say, "Well, Lord Raiden, we have traveled far to find you. First, I want to ask you, do you know who I am?"
Though I don't think it's best for me to go into details. Yes. Your lord.
Good. That will hopefully expedite the process. As you know, I have been deep in my cups for several years at this point, but I have quite. I was quite stirred by the story your sister told us about your father's fate as of recent, and I have decided to do something about it. Cutting to the whole matter quite short, it seems that there is some sort of blood witch on the run that the Inquisition is following up here. Now, this also seems to be the reason they killed your father. But they didn't kill you. And I am curious as to why.
There's a few of us they didn't kill. Looks over at Eliza.
Yes, your sister got away. Is that also your claim that you saw this coming and ran for the hills?
I would like to claim such, no. Mine was, well, I was already having some disagreements with the revered mother at the temple anyway. And I decided to leave town to go on business elsewhere in the realm. It seemed like a better way than getting sermons chucked at me. And then I got messengers.
I see. So you were out on business when it happened. I see. He sort of glances over to his sister to see if she like nods along with this, or her reaction basically to all
There's
of
that
this stuff.
she doesn't have too much reaction. She's kind of listening intently as well, because clearly she didn't fully know what happened. But so far, you don't think she's. It doesn't look like a Lady Eliza. Like Lady Eliza's expression doesn't show any like contradiction or anything.
Sure. Contradiction, spot the liar. What do you think about this? Holds up the devil sign.
Oh, I need to rewatch that.
Yeah. Oh, good times. All right. Well, then I might as well continue, and he will say, "I see. So good fortune then had you outside of the capital when it happened."
Good fortune, yes.
Now, we have been to the capital and we have gathered some intelligence from the castle itself, no less. In these documents, they mention the witch and they mention you at the same time. We also know for a fact that a lot of crystals and crystal production seem to have, well, coincided with the witch's movement and yours. And so I am curious to your explanation about this. Have you, for example, seen her? Have you talked to her?
No, I have not. To be honest, I have not heard of a blood witch before now being in the area. It
What?
lines up with certain things I've heard, but I didn't think it'd be that.
I see.
Is he lying?
Susp.
I mean, you're free to input.
I want to incite him.
Everybody inside.
Give me a moment.
I'm not good at insight. Actually, I'm alright at insight, apparently. I'm proficient.
Alright.
I'm not good at it,
18.
apparently. But
Alright.
I'm looking at this from a different perspective at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Because,
Mhm.
where is it?
blast him. I mean, excuse me.
Fireball!
Shadow.
Before you work together, you can definitely run around him.
But different perspective. I meant my 3rd level spell list perspective.
Oh, if you cast Shadow on all those mana crystals, like it to be set for life.
Oh yeah.
I must have misremembered because I thought I remembered someone saying that that they were cahooting, but I have not written it down, so I must not either know or must have imagined it.
I believe we discussed that it might be a possibility.
Yeah, highly possible, but not certain. At least what I know.
That's probably why I didn't write it down. It was not fact. It is merely speculation at this point.
Ooh. So I guess, is he lying? What does it know?
That kind of tried to scrutinize him. You think most of what he just said there was true.
But
Do you think there's something he was probably holding back on? Like he probably knew, he probably had more than a hunch of what was going on, but you don't actually think he necessarily knew all the details.
I give you like a suspicious glance towards the king, and but say nothing, and then towards back the boy, Lord Raiden.
It is. It's at this point that Vickers will announce his presence. He has basically slipped in, not through the front door, but another way, and has been listening. But it will now make his presence known, as he will say, "If I may cut in, you've been receiving shipments of crystals for quite a while now. What exactly are you using them for, other than your, well, inventions? I have seen you take some with you."
He kind of eyes Vickers closely. His eyes kind of following up your horn, and you see he's definitely kind of making some mental notes about you.
Oh, of course, as I have of him, while he wasn't looking at me.
It is correct that I have been through a shell, well, a small little shell group I've put together, importing a lot of mana crystals. That is correct. Largely for academic purposes, and, well, to try and see if I can industrialize some inventions for this mine.
Inventions of what manner? Exactly. Traps? Or...
There's an issue in these mines. The deeper we get into the ice, the harder it becomes to mine. Between the heat, well, more say the lack of, the ground being so frozen, as well as the rocks becoming near impenetrable at some points, it severely restricts what we can mine. These, he flicks out a mana crystal just onto the table from his pocket. They're full of raw magic, and a lot of raw magic. Utilized, it's not too difficult to make them. He just kind of makes a vague hand gesture like an explosion.
Okay.
Blast mining, if I can get it controlled enough, should let us get much deeper into the stonework.
How horrifically dangerous is that? Because it sounds horrifically dangerous.
There's a reason I'm doing my research in a section of the mine with only me in it.
Vickers thinks for a minute, and scratches his chin a bit, and says, "So it serves you two purposes. You, well, get away from the castle, and you also advance in your own research. I see. And you're sure there's nothing else you use these for? I do have to be thorough in my questions, you see."
What else do you think I would be using them for?
Ammanas leans forward. I am not sure, but I agree with Vicus. It seems to be a lot of effort for a mine up in nowhere. I think you are hiding something.
Can I just out of character?
Yeah.
Ceres, what does Ceres know about, like, obviously, yeah, these crystals are, like, it's crystallized magic, effectively. Like, but what is their potential explosion? Is just like a crate of crystals really going to yield a lot, or?
That depends on how they're prepared. But you certainly know there are groups of artificers, subsets, who can specialize themselves and do specialize themselves into finding ways to just generate energy, usually for the purpose of exploding.
Okay.
It's not unreasonable. It's hella dangerous, but it's not unreasonable.
But through, like, mechanisms, like items, like artificer items, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I think of that, then Ceres will say, sorry, I'm trying to formulate her words.
Yeah, it is a form of artificing, though. So
Yeah. She'll say, in that case, do you have the devices that are typically required for this express use of crystals?
I have my designs for them and test versions, but they're not ready to be used in controlled mining.
Are you missing something?
Time, mostly. I need to make sure they blow up and not take the mountain down on top of us.
Hmm.
Ceres will, like,
I can make an explosion, I just can't necessarily control it enough for safe mining.
Ceres will frown and then look to Vicus with like a sure, but the fuck sort of look.
Oh yeah, he raised an eyebrow back at her as to confirm. He's like, but he'll continue, follow through, and say, well, given the state of what has currently happened, it is no doubt that you are going to be searched for. We came to find you for, yes, information, but also considering your sister is here too. Your safety and cooperation.
He looks over to Eliza very cautiously. Almost like he's trying to like ask her for a signal. As he's kind of staring at you two, kind of interrogating him.
Does she give any? Oh, actually, he's still in link with her. How does she feel right now? If he like posed the question to her, how does she feel they should proceed?
You can sense some worry over the line from her.
Yeah.
Maybe don't. Like, they really needed to push this hard. He's just my brother. He already said he didn't know anything about the witch.
I get a grunt from Vicus. He'll relay that to the king, and basically, yes, they're siblings, so there's a bit of bias there, but perhaps it's best to let his further actions speak for him, whether he's lying or not. There's no way to tell right now.
I mean, I have another question for him, really. everyone else is taking a momentary break from our interrogation.
Go for it.
Sirius will look back to Raiden and say, so if you're so pressed into blasting your way further into the mountain, what are you looking for that you're willing to risk your life for? Actively risking it.
I mean, you're implying I don't take safety precautions at all.
No, I'm implying that you're triggering explosions using mana crystals in a tunnel system that you have admitted to being in. There must be something of worth. What is it?
There's a pause. Can you make me a persuasion roll?
Yes.
Ooh.
Da-da-ba-ba-da. Ooh, that's a bad roll. That 8.
Not bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
These mines are, to be frank, one of the only good exports we have in this region. And they're at risk of drying up soon if we don't find a better source. All my evidence says there should be more deeper in if we can get past the heavy ice.
Ammanas leans forward again and says, so your father gets put on trial and hanged for treason. And your reaction to that is that you go to a mine to try to dig.
He wasn't hung when I left. He wasn't even declared on trial. I've been up here for several days before any. But then I had a messenger come down and tell me that my father was dead,
And
that the Inquisition is going around hunting. To be frank, I didn't. From that point on, I've not really felt like going outside much. But
so I take it from your reaction that you are upset with the state of affairs. Or are you content sitting in the mine?
how could I be content with the land that I have spent the last 5 years trying to improve, now about to be taken over by a random group of religious whack jobs?
Slight smile on Ammanas's lips. And he will say, well, what if I told you that we plan to do something about it, and that you can do something about it as well? Your sister and Sir Bolton has already joined our cause. Will you as well?
Me. Beg my pardon, my lord, but your reputation does not necessarily aid you here, given especially the rather large tab you have been that you've been putting into my coffers over the last time. He looks around, kind of not wanting to say anything more than that, actually, with like technically people in the distance.
You know, Ammanas nods and says, yes, I am acutely aware of my failings. There is no doubt about it. But I will tell you that I swear that I will see this Inquisition routed from these lands, or I will die trying. I have had enough running from these people. I have had enough being denied what is rightfully mine, and I will prove that I am worthy of ascension once more. I was given it on a platter last time. I did nothing to deserve it. I intend to change that. So,
And Lady Elias can actually speak up instead of just letting you guys handle it.
mhm.
Come on, Rye. Like, I give my word. He's definitely changed. Come on, please. Ammanas, would you like to give me a persuasion check at advantage?
Sure. Mm-mm. 21.
There's this moment where you can see he's biting its lip, like he thinks this is a terrible idea.
You know, I think actually as this has been going on, without like really thinking about it, Amana's like halo has been lighting up, like the gleam in his eye, and like the moon silvery light sort of beaming from him as he gets more animated and he talk.
People outside are looking up, like, why there's a strange light glowing out of a building. He bites his lip, looking to his sister's impassioned plea, looking to you with the kind of phrase of like, I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
Mm.
You know, if it means protecting the realm for you. Yeah, right, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll help.
Well
Amana's
said.
nods.
Though, how did you get Sir Bolton? Messenger said he was in prison.
He
Well,
broke him out.
You,
As I said before, things were handed to me and to us on a platter. This time around, I intend to work for it. If my reputation does not do me any favors, perhaps my actual actions will instead.
okay. Bron is just the entire time. Bron's just been sitting in the corner, just with an entire keg of beer next to him, just watching.
yeah. um, Vickers will add while perhaps he's pondering and says, if you're wondering how exactly we found you, your sister and I, resourceful as she was, we managed to find our way through the castle occupied, as it was, to your room, which is where we found record of where you've been. We are capable.
He almost gives like this kind of really sharp glare at Lady Eliza for a moment, who has this kind of briefly guilty expression. She kind of looks off to the side. He shakes his head again. Right. So you went in there, you found my schedule for the week. Right, okay.
Yes, indeed.
That also means that anyone can find that and track you down, probably similar to what we did. I do not believe that you are quite safe here, and I suggest you come with us.
I would say this dwarven mine now is quite safe. If we only draw the attention of the Inquisition away, that is.
It might be safe for now, but as I understand it, there is a roving band of gnolls terrorizing the countryside.
Large tribe,
Well,
yes.
wouldn't be a great action for the king to deal with it then?
He snorts and says, "Well, I am not opposed if it can be dealt with by a small group. The ones we fought were quite numerous and quite strong. If there are, well, hundreds of them, that might be quite problematic.
That is true.
My
Wouldn't
worry
be the
my worry is that the Inquisition actually gathers a proper force and comes here. And he looks over to Bronze Shadowshield. If, say, 200 to 300 Inquisitional soldiers came here, do you think you would be able to hold them?
That depends a lot if the big man himself decided to show up. If it was just his men, one of his commanders, we could hold. The bridge will butcher them.
Looks
Got someone that level of magic though come along, they'll blow the damn gates open.
Ammanas looks over to Lord Raiden and says, I will not force you to leave if you do not wish. But it is dangerous here.
With all due respect, it's dangerous most places.
Yes, but it's more difficult to hit a moving target.
That I can agree. So what's your plan, then?
The plan currently is to try to gather our forces as much as we can somewhere. And then try to find out exactly what happened. It seems very strange to me that the Inquisition would just roll in and kill off your father without due cause. The question is, what was that cause? What did your father do to deserve being killed by the Inquisition? The official story is that he protected the witch, but if neither you nor your sister has seen or heard anything of her, that seems unlikely to me. The witch might just be a very convenient excuse for seizing control over this area. As to why they want to seize direct control of this area, I am unsure. Perhaps there is something here they are looking for or want.
Well, Eliza's going to show. Unless one of you stop her, it's going to show Lord Raiden the rite of execution that you guys found.
Yeah, sure. She helped in getting it, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Looks over it. Well, there's one motivation at least. So the military force that arrived were, of course, it was Salsons. Manipulate a piece of. There's a few reasons they could want to attack. I don't know which. If it's between our father causing trouble on the political stage, to possibly someone just wanting what few resources we do have, to possibly the Duke just wanting to claim back this land for his own. There's a few options here. Whatever you do, you're going to have to be cautious looking at this, though. If Duke Celestine sent the troops, that means he's formally backed this.
Yes.
It'll make it difficult with whatever moves we do going forwards.
As far as we know currently, the scales are tipped to us with the element of surprise, but it is a matter of time before they realize.
We need to somehow find out exactly what happened. Find out why this is going on. And see if the Inquisition's actions were actually justified. It's difficult to mount a just resistance if it actually turns out that your father was harboring a wanted blood witch. I am banking on that is not the case, since as far as I know, he was a very honorable man, and he wouldn't do anything like that, at least not without good reason.
I don't know how you would have done it with hiding it from all of us.
Yes.
Like most things that my father did went through one of us. He was great with the people. He wasn't the numbers person. He wasn't the army person.
What has he been doing shortly before this? Has he taken any strange trips? Has he met with new people you've never seen before? Even if you do not recognize her as a blood witch or indeed even a female or an elf, these sorcerers, I am told, can change their appearance quite effectively. He sort of glances over to Ceres.
Let's see, my father's schedule. Brief pause. Wasn't anything of note in the previous week. The week before that, he had met with Duke Salacine's second court mage over some kind of what was it? There was some sort of strange. There was some kind of someone reported getting infected with something strange from one of the goblin tribes. Needed one of the mages to review it. But it seemed like a rather minor thing for as far as I was aware there. The mage came, the mage left. And it's one of Duke Salacine's. I doubt he's got a blood witch in his personal retinue.
Nods slowly.
Before then, he'd attended a conference down south with several of the other noble leaders. He didn't really have the clout, but he had the kind of reputation behind him. Not a lot happened, except in his usual fashion, he managed to piss off a whole bunch of the more greedy ones. But that was nothing new for Dad. That's pretty much what he did on a weekly basis. Other than that, there's not that much. I mean, he did spend more time out of the castle than in it, just traveling from place to place, visiting our neighbors.
Did he travel alone? I assumed he had a retinue. Was there anyone new in the retinue, perhaps?
Not that I was aware of. His retinue was always the same as it usually been. Sir Bolton would know exactly who was there, but I don't remember any changes. At least they haven't requested any changes of equipment or anything. Otherwise, I would have to purchase it for them.
I see.
So it should have been just the same stock guard he's had for the last 5-6 years.
And no strange sudden expenditures or spending sprees or investments in things that seemed unusual to you?
Nothing out of the ordinary for father.
What about periods of weakness? Did he take to bed for a day or two at any point, for unexplained reason?
No, not particularly. He was pretty good health. He was still kicking Sir Bolton's butt out on the battlefield, on the training yard every few days.
Well, then
the only unusual thing that happened is there is one thing that's been bugging me. I mentioned before the revered mother. She's the main priestess in Freyfall, current head of the church we have there, of the castle chapel. I know she's been petitioning the court a lot more recently. It kind of bugs me. I frankly don't like her.
what kind of petitions?
Requesting additional donations to aid in church construction and restoration. Apparently some of the old mausoleums had gotten a bit worn down by the weather. So she wanted funding for repairs to those.
Is that a likely scenario to you, or do you think she wants the money for something else?
Honestly, I feel like I feel like she had her own agenda. I mean, they're old, but just why would it come up now? I don't know. It doesn't feel likely to me.
Amnas taps his fingers on the table. It's rather circumstantial and weak, but it is something, at least.
I'll take this brief opportunity for you, as with him talking like this, just to review a few extra character cards for you, since
Sure.
I'm going to fill you in on some details. There you go. There's Duke Salicine and the Revered Mother added.
That says reversed mother.
Whoops.
The reversed mother.
Note to self. Spell check and correct that next time. everyone.
No, she's a tarot card. She's the reverse mother.
Oh no, you drew reverse mother.
Surely that
That's
means.
fine.
There we go.
That means
Yes. She needs to stay like that now.
means you get a visit from your mother-in-law. It's gonna be awful.
Oh God, don't. That's too close to the truth.
Yeah, we need to definitely have her upside down and called reversed mother.
Gosh, that Duke looks so proud of
Fucking
himself.
pompous. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
Mhm.
He's
And of course,
very
you know-
pleased with
And of
himself.
course, given the information in there, it is tainted by Lord Raiden's own opinions.
Of course, of course. Okay.
Well, it seems circumstantial at best, honestly. I mean, the weird mother could be the blood witch in disguise. I suppose it wouldn't be an awful place for her to hide. Like, it would give her quite the insight and stuff. But then again, like you would have to make the switch at some point, right? Like you would have to kill off the real revered mother and take her place. And I feel if Lord Raiden like hangs out with her a lot for some reason, like he seems to indicate that he does, I feel like he should maybe have noticed something.
Not willingly hang out with her.
Sure, but
They have to share the same court table when it comes to meeting stuff. Does not mean he has to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem to me that the accusations against your father was fabrications then, and they wanted to remove him for some other reason and use this as a convenient excuse. The question still remains why and what exactly they are looking for in that case.
In that case, we'll need to go directly from the source. Orders, missives, something to link what's going on. Paper trail is always made.
Should we make another raid at Duke Celestial Castle then?
Probably need to hold off on that for a little while. I feel like after the breakout, they are probably quite on high alert for a few weeks or months, perhaps.
Thick as nuts. Sir Bolton is out. This is more. He's kind of saying this for Raiden's sake. But he says, we sent Sir Bolton out while we went here to see you to gather the men and supplies that he could find from the surrounding area. With that, and perhaps with more information, we'll be able to plan our next move. And the question remains on whether you want to stay or come with us.
Look, if you're going to do this, you're going to need. I can't leave Lady. I can't. Yeah, I'll be with you on this. Don't worry.
He nods.
Looks
Good. Your mind is a valuable asset, as is your knowledge.
If you know more about what the priest is up to, though, perhaps there is a way. I can't confirm that, but there's a junior priestess who has her own temple out on the roadside. It's not large, but she is part of the faith and reports to the revered mother. It's entirely possible that she might have heard something.
Is this priestess someone you think we can approach straight from the front, so to speak, or do we need to infiltrate or put her to the question?
She's the kind of soul who wouldn't hurt a fly. I'll be honest. I'm not even sure if they would actually tell her anything or not, but I don't see her being a threat to at least approach and see if she's heard anything.
All right.
What
Sounds good.
aspect of the faith he follows? This priestess.
She views herself as a healer who follows the aspect of the adolescent. She runs a small little orphanage on the riverside. Mostly
Well,
minors, to be honest.
Well, that seems laudable enough. If this endeavor will require, well, the engagement of the people, but also military arms. Looks over to Bronn, Shadow Shield. We could use your troops in the coming battles.
Over. He looks over at Lord Reedon. Lorraine just nods back to him. If the brat's on your side, you'll have my troops.
Good. The
We might need more ale, though.
I am sure we can arrange that. The last question then before we set out again, I think, is what do we do with the mining town and the knolls? Do we leave, or are we going to try to solve this somehow?
Does Raiden have a plan for this? Because I know he hired Bronn and his company to defend, but was there any plan to actually? I know they took some forays into the territory, but do they have any overarching plan to actually rouse them out?
Bron's force is currently scouting, trying to figure out where the gnolls are coming from. Bronn suddenly speaks up after slamming a mug into the table. We haven't figured out where they are yet. We haven't been entirely useless. We have found at least a cave which they've been staging nothing else attacks from. Something much closer than wherever their headquarters is. We've not had a chance to read it yet, though, but it's possible that there might be clues there. Worst case, we thin out the numbers some more.
Well, we do happen to travel with one of the huntsmasters of the Empire, and quite the woodsman. If you show us the rough area, perhaps we can pick up the trail. I doubt gnolls try to hide their tracks. They don't seem to be that type of creatures.
I'll start adding some information to the map for you.
Alright. So if we're gonna want to out the character, if we're gonna want to use these men, then we need to make sure this place isn't getting constantly attacked. Because if we pull them from somewhere and then this place gets overrun, then we're fucked. So
Yeah, no, we got to clear this really before we can leave with any form of men.
yeah.
Well, it will ingratiate ourselves, and it will also stabilize the war economy should we need the mine for something.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, that reminds me. What's their thoughts on red here? Both Raiden and Braun.
Bron quickly speaks up. That wives' tale. My men aren't scared of it, don't worry. We haven't seen any sign of it on the road, and to be frank, unless I see anyone getting hurt, I don't see a reason to even care about it. If it does exist, if it doesn't exist, then even less to worry about.
Makes nuts. Was my thought also, but best ask.
But it certainly Red certainly has some of the town folks spooked. That's certainly true. It's also done a decently good job, admittedly, of apparently keeping some of the gnolls away, though weirdly enough.
A boon to be sure, then.
Not because while there's been no injuries on our side, we have apparently seen a few gnolls just bleeding out on the road with no clear injuries.
Looks over to Vicus. Curious.
No clear injuries, you say?
Just lying there with blood pouring out of their mouths, but no stab wounds, no scorch marks.
Vicus frowns.
He's kind of giving you a look right now, just kind of nods.
Curious. Gives a very pointed look towards everyone else.
We know what this means.
I mean, also, very sort of shrugs. There are more than one type of thing that can do such damage. Remember.
Indeed, but we know one of the possibilities, and that is worrying enough.
Well, we would know two.
But moreover, on what you all said earlier, I do, from what I've been feeling out, trying to listen to what I've got left of a network. I have seen clues though that line up with what you've mentioned, with what they've been mentioning, the Inquisition. Signs that powerful magic's been used that I don't know who. Magic leaves its mark. It's powerful. And there's been traces of it that just seem unnatural. I can't really show you the proof of this. I'm not the one who figured it. I'm not really the one who's noticed it, but some of my contacts have. It implies someone's doing some form of magic other than, well, you lot.
Do you have any of the locations of these sites with the residue? Perhaps we can investigate that as well. We do have mages in the group.
Not been able to pinpoint an exact. Okay, there is one site actually. Yeah, there's one site that there were signs of it actually. Yeah, it's a little south on the road, not too far away from Blackwater Abbey. It's a spot that a lot of the merchants have been avoiding because they say red's there, but there has been signs of powerful magic being used there.
Would seem prudent to investigate then. Large magic is being done, then we need to know what or who has been doing it. I think that's all the questions Vickers has. So
More
far.
information's been added to your map, though, to follow.
Yes, thank you. Does anyone else have more questions or?
Not immediately, I think.
If you have more immediate questions, then the group now has an opportunity. The group can step out immediately. The group can choose to hang around for a little while and peruse the small town as it might be, if you want to gather any rumors or gather information or just buy equipment. Assuming there's anything you want to purchase.
Other than horse.
Which you've
Yeah,
already
of course, that's it though.
Or you can, of course, you could choose to just say, oh, you'll end the day now and take a long rest, I suppose. Though, keep in mind the enemy is still up to things.
Yeah, yeah.
Even when you say a long rest early.
What time is it in the day right now?
It's probably like 2 in the afternoon. Still got plenty of daylight.
Yeah.
We could rest and do a night raid on the knolls.
I don't like
I can't see.
yeah.
I can make you see. I just need to rep my spells for it.
I mean, Vikers
It's
can
an
see,
option.
but are we taking some of bronze men for this? Assuming we're not going to go try and roust an entire null camp on our own, right?
Yeah, I assume like the scouts and men will be with us, right? So
I mean, some of the dwarves most likely because they are able to see.
Are they all dwarves, bronze men?
They're not all dwarves. Some of them are, like, the majority of them are dwarves, but they also just have some of the local, like, humans also part of that.
yeah.
Like local humans guard here and the dwarves and us go there. As a night raid.
Well, we need to find them first, right? Because we don't know exactly where they are.
I would suggest go and look for them, and if we find confirmation, then perhaps we can decide then. Because trying to find them in the dark is probably a lot worse off than using the daylight we have.
Sure. Yeah.
How far would it take to go to Blackwater Abbey? Like how long?
If you given there's a road going straight down there, if you want to take the road and you're using your horses, you can probably make it there in like an hour and a half.
Well, let's. How about we swing back down there and just check in with the priestess who runs that?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Horses and a road. You move from.
And after that, maybe we can like swing north towards the Knoll Cave and start like checking around. I personally don't need anything in town, I think.
I don't need anything.
I should be also fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so you guys want to head out immediately and head down to the Abbey.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Ron Shattershield and his men will stay here. They aren't going to bother coming to a church with you. They'll defend this place in case it gets attacked.
Well, I mean, if we're going to the Abbey and we're going to head north, we could just swing by the red sighting. Literally on the way.
I think we should, by the way down.
We go down, or we can go to the Abbey, and then as we're heading north,
heading back
west
up,
anyway, we might as well, like, barely a detour.
Yeah,
no, I definitely agree. We should go there at some point.
As we're in the area, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Abbey, then Red, and then Knolls.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If that's your plan, then Bron can send your small detachment to wait for you near the river crossing towards the Knoll Cave.
Yeah, why not?
No point drawing more attention on the main road though by having just a large group of mercenaries wandering on there.
Just standing there.
Keep in mind you are also heading towards the Inquisition.
Yeah.
To keep them.
Yeah, it's fine. Jonas says he's okay with it. He's just getting water. So we
I
can
feel
get-
free to get drinks if you need to.
Have a
he's getting
constant
one for me.
supply.
We're still just in the light chatting phase. So
Yes.
Valky has personal servant. He's a
We
true king.
we swap.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell Jonas that. I'm going to say Valky said that.
You know what? I'll be fine with that.
Valky said.
imagine though, Halldamir, you're starting to get excited because you're now starting to see more about the foreign politics.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
I know is something that you do.
Yeah.
Now you know at least about one foreign person.
I guess I said would like to at some point learn about all these touches or whatnot. It can be done like later.
I'm back.
Wait, do I? Okay.
Huh?
Sorry.
It's okay.
So the
Going crazy, don't worry.
plan, as I understand it, is to abandon everything and go to Olken Springs, right? For a beach episode.
Correct. Yeah, that is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, one of you noticed that.
Yeah.
OVA episode. Let's do it.
Yeah, the hot springs episode.
We got to have at least some form of water-based episode where it's just us relaxing. Beach, like springs, hot springs, just a city of fountains. I don't know, something.
The city of water.
The city of
Do with
water.
that.
Water temple. Let's go full Zelda on this.
Oh yes, let's go to the water
A
temple.
new religion shall be born.
Yes, a very creepy water religion. You can multi-class into like new warlock of the deeps.
Yep, there we go. No, we'll just flavor the shadow magic to the shadows of the depths.
There you go.
Yeah.
And go like full House Greyjoy with like blood sacrifices to the
Yes.
siege and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Yeah. Well, on our way there, we will pass by the Red Sidings and the Black Abbey or whatever it was called. Blackwater Abbey, almost correct.
Black Abbey water. I mean, presuming it's the Abbey next to the Black Water.
Yes.
Why is the water black? Does it
Because of
need,
the
like...
black salt
minerals
in
from
the
the
mines,
mine.
man.
Oh.
Come on, this was all last
This
session.
is last session.
You're not paying attention, damn it.
Hey, I am drunk most of the time.
I mean,
so-
this
Brain
is why
cells
you
are
have
struggling
us.
to keep up.
You know what? Braun Chattershield perfectly agrees with you. More alcohol.
Oh,
Yes. I will remind
Oh.
you that his lordship has 8 intelligence.
This is
But
perfectly.
Vicus will secretly or like quietly tell Braun that the king is a recovering alcoholic. So perhaps don't tempt him with drink. If you
Yes,
can.
it's like-
alcoholic.
We have just got him on the wagon. Please do not tempt him.
Don't throw him
Like,
off of it.
Like already during your conversation, like multiple mugs have just appeared on the table.
Yeah. If you want any hope of getting this region back into good hands,
As soon as a mug appears, like one of them like engages the king in conversation while the other one smuggles away.
It just gets like shoved off.
Yeah.
Me and Vikas will change it to like herbal tea.
Yeah,
So just have a huge pot of herbal tea with them at all times.
Yeah.
Just keep pouring.
Like the
And,
king's just real confused as to why Bronn is just giving them tea. It's not a very dwarven thing, but
Yeah, it's very odd, but
who's
I
he's a
mean, you know,
question, right?
I know.
It must
Sleight
be
of hand
a-
comes in handy sometimes.
Also, there seems to be something wrong with this beer barrel because a lot of it seems to be leaking out into the corner over there. I don't know.
into
Hear all the
that flower
splashing
pot
sound.
somehow.
Yes, the flower is just swimming in beer, just floating above it all. Like
The
oh.
drunkest plant. Awaken the
That-
plant. It needs to tell us its story.
Or that's why we summon like what's the biggest thing Zed can summon, like a bear maybe.
An elk.
Elk.
Elk. Okay, so we
elk.
have a beer elk. Just has a drink all the. He's just wobbling around like, oh god, constantly intoxicated.
I do by nature also then like the idea we're going to get like at some point something even bigger, like a beer elephant.
There we go.
The trunk just comes in from out of from left field, like, sucks it up.
I don't know if it can be elephant.
So,
Got to be.
after a brief stint to buy horses, the group rides south out of the gates. You, of course, still have with you Lady Eliza. And given that he's now slightly worried, Lorraine is actually going to come join you.
Alright. Does he have his own horse, or does
He
he
can-
want to?
He can go with Lady Eliza, that's not an issue.
Sure. Makes sense.
That was the day when the line ended in a tragic accident.
Jesus.
Got both members in one fireball.
Sarah, you're speaking out loud again.
Execute blood 66.
Why does he have that cloak on him all the time? I can only see like his nose and mouth. Very good.
But you don't see much in the way of conventional weaponry on Lord Raiden except a dagger.
Okay.
Though Vickers certainly knows he has, it appears to be a few artificer gadgets like stowed under his cloak.
Oh yeah. He knows he's loaded.
What is that even? Some sort of watchmaker? Like, puh.
But he
Yeah.
certainly brought something along to defend himself if you get attacked. So,
Right.
of which you guys are moving on the main road.
Yeah.
Come at us, bro.
The king is still disguised, so
You know, it's funny you mentioned that.
oh no.
As you guys kind of top over a section of hill, in front of you, a few 100 feet away. Oh, that's a group of. It looks like inquisitorial soldiers and a couple of priests going along in their chanting fashion, informing people of the Inquisition hunt.
What the fuck is these people? Are they just walking up and down the roads chanting? Like, what the heck? What is? It's like a Monty Python sketch. Like,
Proselytizing.
my god.
It is a mother python.
Proselytizing to whom? They're on a road in the northern wastelands.
To the lands, clearly.
There are still miners and merchants passing on the road.
Oh my god, what a fucking life.
Alright, well.
And so it has begun. The king's disdain for the peasantry is coming out.
I mean, as it stands, if you don't that much, you could kill them.
Well, we attempt to ride past without much without them stopping us.
Yeah, we are perfectly normal people.
The king is in it. We basically have like a diamond formation. The king and Eliza and Reiner are like in the middle, and we're flanking outside.
Surrounded by an elk and
Yes.
My about that disguise kit.
Yeah.
Can
What
you make-
about it?
Can you make me a deception, please?
Yes, of course. Let me just look at my sheet real quick.
Either being deception, or if the disguise kit is specifically a tool proficiency, then you can use that instead.
I believe it's a tool, but I will double check that.
Yeah, disguise kit is a tool.
Proficiency with this kit lets you add proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to create a visual disguise. So, I guess it would be deception with the kit.
I'll have it be an intelligence deception.
Okay.
How well do you make the disguise?
Okay, intelligence
Not
deception.
you, not just for the king, but how do you make your own disguise as well? Of course, because you've got a giant horn sticking out.
Can
That's
I get
true.
guidance for that?
I guess you could have given it to me when I made it,
Yeah.
but that's up to the dark to decide.
Yeah, that's fine if that's what you wanted to have done.
Okay, intelligence.
Wait,
Oh,
I guess
strength.
quick, he's getting dressed. Guidance.
Yes. Okay. Did we have a short rest before we left?
we can probably rest an hour. If that was something
I
Vikas
don't.
requested.
I
No,
think
I'm
we
just
have a
asking.
short rest after the null fight.
Yeah, we did have a short rest
No,
after the null fight.
you didn't have to expressly have one while you're in the town, though.
That's fine. I still have stuff left to use. Alright, 24. Guidance. That's my search bar on my computer. How do I... Hold on. There we go.
Our
Good
map tool,
work.
please.
Oh, oops.
Oh,
Hold on.
wow.
Cl-
Oh,
What?
yes.
Should be,
How do I do
other
this
way
again?
around.
How are you?
Okay.
Yay!
Uh,
You
yeah.
did it.
25.
With a 25, the priests see nothing out of the way. Those some of them do try telling you about the great justice that is the father.
Oh my god.
But no one notices anything suspicious about your group, and you're allowed to pass.
Wonderful.
Great.
If the printing press was available in this area, they probably would hand you a pamphlet.
Oh, good.
Sadly, there's no printing press up in the northern areas like this, so not that much book work going on. Okay, the group follows the road down, and it isn't too long before you approach Blackwater Abbey. It is a surprisingly nice bit, despite the chilling cold and the continual snow that tends to rain down a lot of this area at times. It's a nice little bit of tranquility by the river. The water, of course, is an off color due to the minerals, and as the place is named. But it's this quaint little hamlet. There are, a couple dozen houses. Not a lot, but there's a nice, a nice few. And in the center of the location, though, is the main thing, which is for a countryside church, a fairly large, very old-looking church. Clearly, much an older architecture style, almost Gothic. Though there is no signs of gargoyles on it, they may have been removed. And next to a much smaller side building that seems to have been constructed. There are not a lot of people around, though as you approach up, you see a couple of people. You see like an old man cutting some wood on his porch. You see a couple of people fishing on the riverside, and a whole bunch of the orphan kids having a snowball fight in front of the abbey. But it looks very quiet.
A question: would I know any historical information about this place?
Maybe you can roll if you want more.
Yeah.
Get your token.
Oh, I don't have the token ready. Oh, sorry. Give me a moment.
Which character was rolling?
None. Oh, I gave myself guidance before.
Rain guidance.
Wait, what? No, that's wrong one.
You okay, Liza?
What do I need to put for the value for history province save province? 1?
Oh. Did the history not work up for you?
No.
You need to have your token
just-
selected
It is.
when you did the roll.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. History in particular appears to be screwed up for some reason. That's odd.
Right.
Yeah, I added 1 to it. It's correct.
I fixed it now.
So, 24?
A lot of history.
Yeah, kind of my thing. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this town, King.
Let me tell you everything.
The Blackwater Abbey, for a long time, was the only kind of religious thing this far up north, built by some of the first, and basically the original Protestantizers from the south who brought the religion of the Allmaker up north here into the Skull territory. It has, over history, been defaced by the local population on many occasions, especially when the Skald weren't really incorporated in and were more just forced into being part of the kingdom. Though that has gradually calmed, and while the menacing Gothic architecture is no longer needed, it does hold kind of much history in that regard. Originally, this was a place built in dedication of the warrior, the aspect of duty, protection, and honor, believing that may best resonate with the Skald population. It didn't work, but, I mean, the church tried. At this point, though, while the church has had a long history and has seen a fair number of everything from, of course, weddings to court cases and similar, especially before Freyfall became the major city, it's now mostly fallen into obscurity, and it doesn't really see much action nowadays. It's just becoming more historical monuments than anything else. Due to how high you rolled, you may also ask a follow-up question if you've got one. If there's something particular you want to know about it.
Nothing really comes to my mind at the moment.
Very well. Expect graffiti when you go in. Well, remnants of ancient graffiti, potentially. It turns out it's harder to wash off chisel marks than it is to wash off paint.
Huh.
So, yeah. As you approach up, though, you don't see anything too alarming here. There surprisingly isn't a lot of, at least not outside, there's not a lot of religious stuff going on, which is probably good.
Well, I assume we just approach the abbey. Really, that's why we're here. No point in dawdling around.
Yeah, that's not an issue. You can approach up past a small crowd of kids. Sarah's getting accidentally pelted in the back of the head with a snowball.
Oh! She immediately cast Shatter back.
Yeah, they're all dead.
5 children are dead! Oh my god!
Finally.
The blood of innocence is very powerful, my lord.
Finally, the chance to use blood magic has come.
Unlimited power! As her face melts away. Ceres, are you okay?
You can go inside, not presumably melting the children.
I don't think we will start murdering the children. No,
I don't think so.
not for an stray snowball.
No.
If Lady Eliza Hunter's mark one of the children and throw a snowball at him, he will die. He will explode.
Technically speaking, if she threw a snowball, it would do an extra 1d8 damage, so probably.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's straight through him. It's like a hole in the middle of the kid.
Oh my god.
That
I want that
snowball.
mental imagery. Chill out.
She probably isn't going to use her combat features on a snowball.
Did not ask for permission for that to be in my brain.
She throws.
Now imagining her doing hero strike with a snowball, so it does deal advantage and force damage.
I mean, I could do with any attack really, so I can holy smite with a snowball.
Yes, the best. This is how high level characters have a snowball fight.
I just realised that my monk in Odyssey would be able to kill a kid throwing a snowball back that they caught and threw back.
Just carry it back straight into the kid, blowing his head off.
Deflect missile, I can launch it back at them.
As we now cue to our side episode, as apparently we go into the Snowball Tournament.
Yes.
Second side episode after the peace episode.
There's a really important snowball fight tournament to decide the new lord of the land. And we need to take part in it immediately. Everyone pick your spells and let's go.
I just like the idea of challenging the.
I will pick Snowball as my spell.
There you go.
Okay.
There is a little bit of something unfair about challenging the Inquisitor, though, given he has fire magic on his side.
You know.
Little unfair.
I just put a rock on the snowball, so.
Oh, ow. Wow, cheater. By the way, the best snowball I ever threw in my life was in a snowball fight in the schoolyard in like 3rd or 4th grade. I packed just enough like ice and gravel into the snowball and threw it full force into a kid I really didn't like in school. It hit him like full in the face. I just saw an explosion and then he like just doubled over and like fell on the ground and didn't get up. I was very happy that day. Yes, that was my story.
Let me get back in the rails.
No.
Come on, Istakao. I thought like you being from Finland, I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, snowball fights.
We have fist fights more than snowball fights.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The group, though, can enter into the Abbey. I mean, it's a beautiful, if very old and slightly worn down, old church. It's very welcoming. There is an ancient stained glass window showing the 5 aspects and a great sunburst in the middle on top of the window. Pews look, the entire place looks quite clean. You can see as you go inside, like one of the side rooms appears to have been converted into like an infirmary. And at the very end, you can see, dressed in a very humble white robe with a book at her side, the tanned Sister Fiona, seemingly speaking with one of the Inquisitor's priests at the moment.
Fuck.
Charge! All right, well, we will sort of, go to the side, maybe, inspect the murals, be in silent, quote-unquote, prayer, and see if she distangles herself from the Inquisitor.
Can Ammanas pray?
He can pray,
Is it?
yeah, of course.
But isn't the religion like the aspects? Not like. Are you not?
You see, the imperial family has its own guardian angel. That's like, it's the guardian and the shepherd of the royal family. So he would pray to that celestial being, more probably out of habit or something that he's learned, like from when he was a boy. He hasn't like actively necessarily prayed to this being for a long while. Being a drunk and sort of just on his ass most of the time. But yeah, he can definitely if he would pray to that aspect for like guidance and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. There is no imperial shrine in the middle of this temple.
Yeah, exactly. We the normally prayer would be at the imperial shrine at the palace, right? I don't really go. There isn't like shrines to this angel anywhere else. More.
All they've got here are little cubbies dedicated to each aspect.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was only the imperial family really that had this angel. But the angel can speak to him. He can send like visions and stuff in dreams mostly.
Good to know.
It isn't long after you kind of being there and starting to make your motions around the edge to pray that the sister seems to notice you're there and quickly seems to just dismiss herself from the conversation with the Inquisitor.
Just walks away.
As you can almost kind of pick up a like, well, we can continue this later. I've got people here to see. As she starts to walk down the aisle carrying her, you presume, religious book. It's rather hefty looking. As she comes with a bright smile and greets all of you. Greetings to his children. what brings all of you to my temple today? I don't recognize you.
Well,
Are any of you injured?
but
I mean,
am
technically,
Let's see.
Vicus is a little bit.
I'm missing 1 hit point.
Yeah. There's a total of 3 hit points missing from this party.
Vicus is a bit wary about getting close, but he does have he has fashioned himself a a bit of a lopsided hat. I think it's very fashionable. Basically, the lopside is on his the height of the lopside is on his horn side, so he can basically poke it up there without it does. But yeah, he'll I guess present maybe his arm. I guess might have a wound on it, slight wound.
I need art of metal snake with a fedora.
Your bravery is clear. This here looks like you've been in a fight. I'm sure though that it was the Lord that helped brought your success. As she rubs her hand over it, your wound just disappears. Gain 2 hit points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, are currently engaged in trying to track down and scour the knolls from the area. We have run into a few of them, and the wound is a result of that.
A valid task, and one I commend you for.
Yes. Let's see how to approach this. Is kind of a delicate question, isn't it? He looks around. Is there somewhere more private, perhaps we can talk?
Of course. I'm always open for talking with the faithful. Please, this way. And she seems to give he's almost a sly smirk at the rather impatient-looking Inquisitor person he walks past. And she just happily guides you into one of the scripture rooms at the back of the at the temple. Of course, if the temple was fully staffed, there'd probably be an archivist in here at all times. But as far as you're aware, she's probably running most of this place by herself.
Yep. No, that's fine.
As she takes you inside and offers you a small it's a small table meant for reading at, and brings you and also brings over a teapot.
Yes. Anyone have any good idea how to broach this subject? It's kind of suspicious. Just.
I mean, what we want,
Lord Raiden's going to actually step.
both to...
Since all of you seem to not be unsure. Fiona, it's been some time. Apologies, I've not visited. That's quite all right. The Lord knows that your work's important. It's this kind of brief moment where they just exchange their pleasantries for the brief time. Seemingly unlike the revered. However, Raiden does not seem to despise this particular religious person. We've come to ask. With everything that's happened recently, I'm worried how the people are feeling with the. Well, suddenly the other branches of the church have arrived in such force. Is there anything I need to know for helping to? You understand, it's the people. There's so much that needs to be done to help calm the people. Do you have any idea what's going on right now? He tries to level his stewardship on her, you rule this place.
Can I cut for a moment, just to make a perception check that we are not listened and watched?
You can.
22. I'm keeping an ear and eye out for the for people listening us.
Outside the very impatient priest outside, who's kind of like seemingly like trying to look around the corner a little bit, but he can't really hear what's going on. He's trying to be nosy, but he doesn't really, like he can't actually go back there to actually get close enough to hear anything. He's like, where is she? Don't see anyone else at the time. They might be still going to keep an eye on him just in case.
Yeah, I will do that.
Otherwise, you'll appear alone. Sister Fiona kind of looks at Ryde and then looks to the rest of you. Ah. Of course, it would be one of Ryden's efforts. He does have a kind heart in trying to help the people here. Is there something more? I can talk about the church and its mood in general, but is there something in particular you'd all that would help, or you wish to know? Yeah. He kind of looks over all of you for like trying to gauge exactly what you're wanting to know.
It seems that the church has come in force in quite an unexpected way. We would like to hear your thoughts about it, what you think is going on here.
Mhm. She pauses for a brief moment. She gestures to Zed to just close the door. Into the scripture entirely. Before she kind of pours out some tea for each of you as she's seemingly thinking about how to answer that question. As you can definitely see like this kind of tinges on her face of like, how should I answer this? My brothers and sisters in faith are being very aggressive with their efforts here. While this is an operation, their duty, sanctioned by it's been sanctioned perhaps by the saints. I do not know if this is the right path they should have taken for this. This aggression and hostility is unusual, even by the Inquisitor standards. Though knowing Valance, well, given it's him here, less of a surprise. He's always been one for getting his way through the Lord's fire instead of the Lord's blessing.
They killed the Lord of the land.
I heard they decreed his death as an act of justice, that he had committed dark acts in the name of the Lord. I do not have the full details on what happened with that. The Inquisitor has not shared them publicly, but if I'm to be honest, I cannot see any crime he's committed being warranting of death in that way. The evidence I've seen seems tangential at best, and she pauses as if she's not sure if she should say what she's about to.
Mm-hmm. Ammanas nods, and he will say, "We are of the same belief, and we are trying to figure out exactly what is going on here. As far as we can tell, the presence is overkill, and perhaps spurred by something else." do you have any insight into the head of the Church of the Region, Reverend Mother Lorraine?
She is strict, to be sure. She was not the funnest, she was not the best teacher to be under. She is someone who follows the commandments as barbaric as some of the older ones might be to the letter. But she is passionate in her belief of the faith, and in that it needs strong leadership to guide it, though she hasn't always seen eye to eye with the cardinals of the saints.
If I told you that she, in the preceding weeks before the Lord was executed, started requisitioning a lot of money for the repair of crypts and mausoleums around the capital. What would you say to that? Does that seem like something she would do? We are basically trying to see if there's been any strange movement on her part recently.
It's a genuine eyebrow of confusion. Did you say the mausoleums?
Yes.
The rider. She's a worshipper of the aspect of the rider. Through the rider, of course, we teach to the people about humility as well as the natural course of death. She was trained as an undertaker originally, so she has always had a close relationship with the mausoleums, but I see no reason she would need to do repairs on them. Nothing there is particularly out of the ordinary. She was already doing renovation work for the budget we had regardless to them. I know she was down in the mausoleum down in Vallenheim. She had been doing repairs. She had been doing repairs to the main one there, as apparently one of the old crypts had broken open. Something had dug into it. Now I think about it, she has been rather spooked ever since it happened.
How long ago was that?
About a month ago? Something like that? A month and a half, maybe? I don't remember exactly.
Okay. So out of character, I'm suspecting then that either she goes down there on some sort of routine maintenance, see that someone has broken in and done something, and she's freaked out. It's like, oh my god, we need to secure, everything. And then she requires more money so she can do, like, I don't know, sanctity rites or something at the mausoleums at the capital to, like, secure them from whatever broke in.
No, grave robbers can't be so uncommon.
No.
But hey, we know there's a crypt in Vanderheim, so I mean.
So I mean
I want to check it out.
That's sort of where what I'm saying is that, like, grave robbing, it's been a thing. Surely that one crypt broken into isn't enough to start her going off on, I need to fix all of them. It's a matter of urgency. I need money quickly.
What was in the crypt?
Or either what was in the crypt or, like, I mean, yeah, it could be what went in or what came out.
Yeah, it was like, oh, the body of our greatest dragon slayer was taken from the crypt. You might be like, that sounds odd.
Yeah.
Maybe someone's trying to make a death knight or something.
You never know. So,
because why do you break into crypts? Well, to steal
shit.
Yeah, or recover corpses for your necromantic something.
Yep.
Does a blood witch need corpses?
I mean,
Depends if she's special necromancy.
yeah. I suppose they also. I mean, they can use crystals. We determined that last week, I believe.
A long dead
They-
body don't have blood to use, though.
No,
They
that's
could
the
also go for the crypt to speak with the dead and gain some information that they cannot get otherwise.
Secrets.
possible. I guess go in there, we'll find out. If the body's gone, because that will have its own implications.
Yeah.
Does Sister Fiona, because excuse me, has Mother Lorraine sent out any decrees or anything, check the crypts or secure the crypts or anything, or is this something she's just going on with on her own, seemingly?
She did ask us to be vigilant around our grave sites, make sure that no one has disturbed anything, but there was only a single message, really, and then a few private chats. She's not really made a large fuss about what happened. Not to any of us, at least.
And no one has disturbed any grave sites here.
Grave sites have been fine. I don't have many of them, but they're fine. And the old mausoleum, which contains a lot of the older stuff, is still as sealed it's been for the last 100 years.
What do you usually keep in these mausoleums?
It can vary. Most of the mausoleums, of course, will contain little more than the body and some offerings for the dead, so they try to ease their passage into the next world. A couple of the Skull communities often enjoy leaving weapons and armor for their loved ones, so in case they need to fight anything in the next life. She seems to have an odd expression about saying that.
Said knows this is a usual thing, yes.
Sometimes, of course, people will leave money. That's not uncommon. It can depend, though. But usually, it's nothing more than personal belongings and the bodies for the most part. We've not had any particularly special burials in quite a while.
Yeah, very strange. I don't know. I suppose we would have to go and take a look at some point. See
Yeah.
if we can figure something out. But yeah, if she's trying to shore up the security of the crypts, that tells me that whatever was done to the crypt that spooked her is likely to happen to other crypts as well, and that makes me guess necromancy. Unless there's fabulous treasures buried in all of these crypts.
Unlikely.
Yes. But lots of bodies and stuff, so yeah, necromancy.
Well, that certainly is interesting. I would like to also discuss with the mother about the matter. We share some aspects of fate with this curiosity for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do not follow the aspects of the Holy Light, but the rider is the closest what I've seen in life.
After all, it does not matter who you are. Death will come for all of us one day.
And a reincarnation after that.
Perhaps.
But this is only personal curiosity.
Ammanas gets some like a blank stare, sorta, on his look, and he says, "Well, if you need some time alone, I suppose I can take a walk around the hamlet."
If you wish, given your efforts, especially your bravery and trying to hunt out these gnolls, the least I can do is offer you hospitality. I'll have some food prepared for each of you.
All right, that seems nice. We accept your hospitality. Thank you.
Quickly grasp at her holy cross for a moment, and we'll go to organize some things. If Zed wishes to speak to her, of course, he may go along, but
Yeah, he will go along and just inquire about the aspect of the writer because it's closest to his beliefs. And he helps make all the food and tea and whatever.
yeah. Is that something? Do you want me to cover? Is me covering the writer something you want me to do out of session, or
Yeah, it can be something out of session.
okay? Go ahead and do that then. But otherwise, yeah, you can join her in the kitchen if you want, as she goes about making dinner for each of you. A couple of the orphans she cares for also come in to lend her extra hands with preparing food for guests.
Yeah, I would say that Zed is very nice with the kids and will spoil them with quite easily because he likes them.
Fiona will gently scold you, like, "Hey, no, it's not time for dinner yet. They shouldn't be eating now."
They can eat. They have to grow. I had a son once. Oh, I have a son. He grew a great warrior. He goes telling about his son, how he became a knight, telling stories of valor, princesses from
Where
dragons.
where is that son at the moment?
To see if it disappeared.
Hmm.
But he gets a chance to talk about it.
Oh, sure.
And certainly Sister Fiona will be happy to talk to you about that. Just kind of ask how you're doing and ask kind of like questions about, fond memories, that kind of stuff.
Oh, he will tell her how his sons love stories about dragons and saving princesses. Quite a lot when he was young.
And she'll
That's why he
occasionally,
became a knight.
and when you mention some of those stories, she'll tease some of the kids in the room who also love those stories.
Yes.
Well,
Leaving the rest of you the chance to, whatever you wish to do. If nothing else, take a chill.
Vickers does not want to chill. Vickers has something specifically in mind. Ironically, segue to matters of the mind. He'll pull the king aside, and mention that Vickers has gotten the sense that basically there is one that is similar to him in capability. He has sensed something and he wishes to investigate. And he would bid the king to walk with him to see if he can find out perhaps the general area where he's getting this sense from, or who, or what.
Not going to be an easy thing.
No, I'd imagine not.
So we're just talking. You're going to just wander around the hamlet to see if you can try and track it down.
Yes. What does the king think about this? Jonas, hello?
Hmm.
Are you awake?
I'm sort of zoned out.
I was talking to you.
Sorry.
Your
Saying-
character. Uh, Basically, there's someone. He thinks a sense that there's someone of psionic nature in a sense in the village as well, or
Mhm.
something, and he wants to go with you to look around to see if he can pinpoint it.
Sure. I'll come with.
All right.
You need backup.
Yeah, I do. I definitely need backup. Just in case.
Okay. And that's because it has a very particular way he wants to do it. I suppose you can roll me an investigation if you want. The king can aid you if you wish.
I was thinking, um, considering perception is normally for sight, perhaps using intelligence perception to cast out his mind instead. Uh, what do you think about that?
Allow that.
Okay. Um, the king can, like, I guess, do his own assistance if he wants.
Sure. I'm not really good at this, but
What do you mean the king? What do you mean the king's bad at this kind of stuff?
well, I mean, if you want like an intelligence,
No, that was for me. If you want to help in your own way, in whatever way you can present it, then go ahead.
sure. I guess I'll try some like information gathering then. Perhaps he is personable, and he also has that dark hero thing that makes common people just want to help him, like instinctively. Um,
So
so
you want to ask around the populace?
yes, he will ask around, see, not to go like, do you have a psyker, but more, just sort of gather the telltale signs that I'm sure he has snapped up from
Yeah.
having Vikas in his employ, you know, over all of these years.
Some of the basic things. Of course, the person might act a little bit weird because obviously psychic powers tend to do that. People.
Yep.
Yes.
Obviously speaking, people tend to have physical deformities of some kind.
Yes. Is this someone scarred and deformed?
Yes. So just before he does this, Vickers is gonna basically rebolster his mind and recover sonic energy die because he's on the left and he might need one on this roll. And he hasn't done it yet since his last short rest.
I have succeeded my assist.
All right. All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Perception. And then he'll add his dice because that doesn't seem very good. 6, so 19.
You send out a pulse of psionic energy and start looking around, trying to spot the telltale signs. As meanwhile, the king is trying to ask, trying to just subtly ask of if there's anyone particularly odd in the town.
Yes.
Initially, you don't really make a whole lot of you don't make a whole lot of progress initially doing it, but with that extra psychic power, you just kind of flooded in. Something. So initially, it just kind of ends up leading you to just one of the just one of the large areas, kind of in the center of the town, where there's a few adults and the kids go messing around, and then you kind of lose the signal,
Hmm.
and you can kind of feel it again, and it happens kind of again, and you're trying to track it somewhat difficult, and you realize though there is something kind of common though at each scene. Huh? Is that? You notice. Well, you don't. Well, you're not. Well, you haven't picked up exactly who's um who is necessarily is a psychic when you're detecting.
Yeah.
You realize someone's left a psychic mark on Raiden
Oh.
that wasn't there when you left the camp, or when you left the village. Sorry, the town before the mine.
Okay. Is this something that would be used to track, or?
I don't think so.
Oh. Hmm.
What is it?
You almost
What-
think similar, like he's communicated with someone psychically.
Ah.
Put him to the question immediately. The fucking treacherous.
Okay. Well. I think that Vicus will let the king know, but I think he would like to take Raiden aside. Not obviously like behind anywhere secret, but just off to the side to talk to him.
No.
If he's available, of course.
I mean, you can go up to him and just kind of grab him, though he does look a little bit surprised when you kind of just wander up.
Yes. Vicus will lead him away a bit and basically cross his arms and say, "Look, I'm going to be quite frank with you. From the look you gave me when you saw me, you know what I'm capable of. And at the very same, I know I know the capabilities of psionics, and I know that you have communicated with someone by that manner. I would like to give you the opportunity to explain."
He kind of stares at you, initially with a kind of like defiant look, but he seems. But then he also kind of looks in the background and remembers, like, oh right, the king's right there.
Yeah, the king looks displeased.
Vicus will continue while he collects himself and says, we are giving you a chance because we have offered a hand of trust. My king has put his stock in you, but as his protector, I must be thorough in all things happening around him. I need to know who.
Can you make me a persuasion check? Or an intimidation.
Let's see.
Can I assist by just glowering?
He will use intimidation. He's proficient.
If we're doing intimidation, I'll allow the king to assist by glower.
Yeah, intimidation.
I'll try to assist.
You don't need to roll. You just get it, don't you?
Oh, is that so? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
If
Yeah,
you're trained in it, you can just auto do it.
Then yeah, we'll just glower.
All right. Let's see. What is it?
Be his most imperious.
It is charisma.
You've got like a death aura about you. You're pretty scary.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could pop that, but that might
All the townsfolk.
Spook some people.
17.
Definitely the stare from the king helping here.
Okay.
Be sure. He grits his teeth for a moment. Yes, there is someone. He kind of pauses. Look, they're not anyone important. They're just a. He definitely seems like he's hesitant to say anything. Clearly, he's not. He doesn't really want to tell you this, but he's.
Right.
Oh, I think he really, really should tell us this. Otherwise, bad things might happen.
Yeah, that's what he's seeing though. The death glares over the shoulder.
Oh yeah.
The king's not quite in earshot, but he still can see the glares heading at him. It's like,
Yeah, like the situation here is Vickers is giving him a chance instead of just putting him directly in front of the king here. So
We're just putting that with me, like dragging him into a bush, just ending it.
When I mentioned earlier that dark energy had been felt, it was from this individual. He kind of pauses for a moment and kind of looks over off to the side and makes a motion for your eyes to follow his.
he does.
As you see him towards one of the groups of kids currently now playing tag at the moment in the snow.
Ah. Okay.
I've been. One of them had a natural affinity for it and was having issues.
Vickers nods.
You know what happens when someone who's, I mean, yours I don't imagine was natural, but you can probably imagine what's happening without. Yeah.
Vickers nods. I am aware. So I can only imagine that he scratches his chin. He knows you have been assisting.
I have, and making sure that his abilities don't become an issue.
He nods. Another reason for the shipments, I'm sure.
Yes, though, to be honest, the amount he uses is not particularly eating into my supply.
Has his power grown stronger of late?
It's grown, but it's not anything too. It's notable, but it's not. Actually, how do I put that? It's certainly grown of late, but it's nothing. I wouldn't be alarmed at it.
Vickers nods. Has he been helping then against the gnolls? I was not. I did notice the mention of how those gnolls were dealt with, similar to my methods. I had an inkling. Is he helping through his own choice, or?
Yes, most certainly. I've told him to stay back here, but he doesn't always end up listening.
His demeanor rebellious, then, you would say?
A little. He means well.
Well, then no doubt that my presence here, he has already noticed.
He definitely knows you were here. As soon as we walked into town, he started sending me panicked messages.
He nods.
He knew something was here, though, to be honest, it scared him more because he didn't know. I don't think he's ever felt anyone like who he is.
Well, perhaps then it might be beneficial for us to meet. Would you say? No doubt you've done quite well in mentoring and keeping him from harm, but
The best
it
I
would.
can. As it stands, I'm not like yourself.
So at this point, Vickers looks at the king.
He's still very nervous looking, Lord Raiden, right now.
Yeah, Vickers probably has his thing up with the king, the metal thing, and he'll basically tell him he'll deal with this.
Does he tell about?
Yes.
Then you will see the king who has been just looked like murder was about to happen at any point. His demeanor softens. He relaxes, and there's a flash maybe of sympathy over his face, and he'll nod and says, "Yes, that sounds wise to me, Vicus. You are no doubt the best to deal with this situation. If you need me, just call, and the king will. He will go to the. I was about to say the cafeteria, but like
Well,
the refectory of the abbey to get some food and just a drink.
You can certainly meet up with Zed there, who's been working with the sister to provide meal. And of course, by the rules of hospitality, you're also entitled if you wanted to a night's stay, but you don't have to take that.
But as the king walks away, Victor will turn back to Raiden and say, "I know this information wasn't given up quite willingly. However, I still appreciate the fact that you told us. It is very sensitive information, and I understand the lengths you went to.
We've been hunting recently.
Because nuts. However, now that I know the situation, He shrugs and cuts himself off. No. I would like to meet him to help him.
Fine. It's better than that, and then you rampaging through here, causing trouble to try and do it.
Yes, better that I know who it was than a, unknown influence. Best for both of us.
Is that you're wanting to do that now, then?
Yes. But perhaps best you arrange it. If I approach, then that might not end well.
There's a brief pause as, you see Raiden's eyes go distant for a second. And you do actually see from kind of the crowd off in the distance, one of them actually starts walking over.
Okay.
So, you know how you were in contact with the king the entire time? He's probably in contact with the kid the entire time.
Yeah.
Networks back and forth. What walks over to you doesn't stand out too much. They look like a fairly ordinary human youngster. Probably 10-ish, you'd guess. It's not the easiest to tell straight away, but they walk over. They're dressed in the standard cold weather gear, covered in snow from the recent snowball fights and falling into it during tag. One thing that does strike you, though, as he approaches, he doesn't have any physical deformity immediately noticeable until you get close. And you realize his eyes are an unsettling shade of red. It's not noticeable, but up close, it's uncomfortable, almost, to look at.
Yes. Uncomfortable for most, I assume, but for Vicus, it's something that, he looks himself in the mirror all the time. Something like this he knows. He gives a slightly, it's a very complicated emotion to convey in a smile, but it's more of a smile of understanding, but also sympathy at the same time.
This is fear.
Theo, yes?
Yes, fear.
Okay. Vicus will slowly stretch out his hand and say, I'm Vicus, Theo. It seems that we share certain abilities.
You immediately see something inside your mind for a moment, and then a voice. Huh. You're like me?
Yes, I am. It's quite rare to find someone else like me. This is new to me too.
There's definitely a look on his face of what am I sensing right now? He looks very confused.
Yeah. But Vicus will continue and say, this this power that you have and the help that Raiden has been giving you, I would wish to help also, as someone who has the same.
Are you being genuine about that?
Yes, he is. This is like a, how would I say, an uncharacteristic break from his normal character, but this is such a unique circumstance and something that strikes him at the core that he is being completely sincere about this. Perhaps Raiden is maybe even surprised at like the sudden shift in demeanor, but yes, he's 100% sincere about this.
For anyone externally, this is a really weird one-way conversation as well, because as Theo responds, it's only mental responding back. You don't
Yeah.
doesn't at all to you. It's all mental. And of which you can reply mentally if you so desire.
Yes, he will. I think he will.
You do any
Because
for it. He can just do it passively.
yeah, I think yes, it will be a shared mental exchange. But like even Raiden looking at Vicus, he's like, Vicus is normally guarded. His hackles are normally raised most of the time, but like this is the one time perhaps that he sees him just relax. His scars aren't so tight anymore. His face is loose. He's not looking like he's ready for a fight. He's just talking to someone that he shares an experience with.
Do you eat those rocks as well?
Yes, I do. When I was young, I used to kind of pauses for a bit. I got too close for a long time, and so ever since I have these powers like you do. And yes, I do have to eat.
I used to be really sick before Raiden started giving them to me. Just every day.
How sick were you?
I was hoping it would end,
Vicus nods.
but then, like, he gave them to me and it just all went away. Just straight away.
What Raiden has done has given you things for a moment. He's given you an opportunity to live your life. And I have seen what you've done with your power. I have seen your help with the gnolls, perhaps against Raiden's insistence not to. I understand you want to help. Yes?
He nods, and mentally again. Raiden's looking to fight them. The least I can do is try and help him.
Vicus nods. I understand your willingness to help, and I understand that you want to help Raiden. However, I would pose to you that I would give you guidance as someone who has lived with this for many, many years.
I've been mostly scaring them off the roads, away from people.
Yes, I've seen. You've done a good job. You've kept them a lot away. However, it's quite dangerous work, is it not? If you are ever discovered.
My powers help hide me, and I usually make them think there's more of us. More of me.
Vicus nods.
I can
S-
images appear out of just air.
That's certainly unique. I would say, though, that, well, it is always your choice, Theo. But I would say that perhaps it's best to work together, given that now we have, well, we both share the same thing. We both can do the same thing with our minds.
There's this pause, and you see Theo looks to Ryden. You briefly feel the connection disconnect, and then reconnect again.
Mm,
You imagine he quickly sent a message to Ryden during that.
yeah.
Also, I think Ryden's angry at you, but I won't tell him that. I won't tell him that I told you.
Vicus smiles and says, "Yes, I'm afraid that in my eagerness to understand what was going on, I perhaps have angered him, and well, having him tell me about you. Since we are similar, I only wish to help you. If you have any questions about your power, about anything, I'm willing to answer and to guide, if you wish."
Head now spend the rest of your stay here answering questions.
Yeah, he wants to. This is a weird, like, how would I say, pivotal moment for Vicus. Is an opportunity for him to at least in his mind what he is has to suffer with his power, a blessing and a curse, of course. Um, he wants to at least give this kid a chance, because he basically uh winged it, so to speak. When he went through this experience, he didn't really have anyone there to guide him. He just had to go with it, and so yeah, he wants to give Theo uh, what he never had.
I'll make some notes down as yes, you've now gained access to one of the things that Ryden was hiding. The young Psycho Theo, a psychic-based sorcerer.
Yeah.
Hence being born of it instead of having been exposed like you were.
Yeah.
We should adopt him.
I feel like Vic's already planning to at this point.
He is in an orphanage, right?
In the orphanage, yes.
Then you know. Or yeah, I mean, you know.
He's scaring off Noel with psychic attacks, so
We should definitely adopt this kid. Imagine, Vicus can have a young protege.
you need two ways to make people collapse without any injuries.
Yeah.
Induct him into the Imperial Assassination Guild.
Yes. Perhaps after the brief conversation, maybe he will. Perhaps Theo can go back to his playing for now.
I'll be honest, he'll probably go back to his play, and just every few minutes you'll get another psychic ping.
Oh yes, that's fine.
More questions.
That's fine. More questions he'll answer.
Because I'll be
Ryan
honest,
is mad,
you know,
right?
he's very curious that you're here now.
Yes, of course.
And given the fact that it doesn't look like you're exiting a mile of him, he's going to keep messaging you.
Well, it's better that than him going off somewhere else. So he'll weather that for now.
Because he's got a lot of questions that Ryden just can't answer because he's a scholar, but he doesn't know what it's like to be psychic.
Yes. Speaking of him, though, Vickers would like to express to him like that he's not trying to, so to speak, take the buck from him. He's only trying to help. So hopefully, Vickers is not trying to take over what Ryden has been doing, and he appreciates it. He just wishes to help in his efforts, work together, so to speak.
He definitely looks suspicious of you now.
Yeah, and Vickers will also be a little bit quiet and say, the side that I've shown to you is a rare sight. I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention it. And perhaps is it still like, I guess, weird, uncharacteristic mood. He'll stick out his hand to shake Ryan's if he wants to. A partnership, perhaps.
He'll pause and take it, shaking your hand begrudgingly.
All right. Good.
You also get a brief glance as he shakes your hand of one of the gadgets, like on the underside of his wrist.
Vickers smiles and says, I did see that you took a lot with you. I'm sure you're quite capable. As he kind of nods to the inside of the wrist there.
We're expecting Norse.
Nods.
Kind of have to be ready.
What does that do, exactly? Still talking about that one, like on his wrist.
He'll take you off to the side briefly, away from the line of sight of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
As you'll see fire out of his wrist, this kind of long metal chain that you see just a giant bolt of lightning go down the chain before the chain gets retracted back.
Vickers visibly like utters his like how impressed he is and says, it's been a long while since I've seen such well, artifice, I guess. He scratches his head.
And it even works most of the time.
He laughs. Yes, well, hopefully it works when a null is bearing down upon you, but if it doesn't, then I'm sure I'll be there to help you out. He kind of shakes himself and says,
You and all your weapons to help keep me safe.
Vickers claps his hand. Well, let's return to the others. They might have thought I've done something bad. And he'll give him right in a wry smile and just start walking back to the church, I guess, where everyone is waiting.
Sure. Anything Ceres has been up to during the last hour? Like everyone's been just relaxing?
No.
Fair enough. I mean, you can just put your feet up somewhere
Yeah, pretty much.
before you get snowballs chucked at you, and just maybe read books in the study or something.
You know,
Scriptorium.
yeah, she can probably pull out a book or two and relax for a bit.
I don't know if any books will be of your interest, but that's not the point.
You know, better than snowballs.
Personal preference. Yeah, the group can then all gather up though for their meal and for their meal in the main hall. But yeah, so the group has learnt more information. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we stay and relax for a bit, and I suppose we head towards the red siding after that.
Mm-hmm. Well, note to be the fact that, of course, weird magic has been detected there, so
We're experts in rare magic. Maybe.
I mean, you've got at least 2 mages.
At least.
Well, how would I say? I assume like red is Theo, right?
Yes.
Or yeah.
Yeah, that seems.
But the magic itself, we should probably check that out.
Yeah. The magic is not Red's doing.
Yeah.
But Red was the identity that Ryden hastily threw together to make people to try and when Theo started branching out, doing stuff.
Yeah.
Which did admittedly work the good job of keeping the gnolls away. At least from attacking like this part of the area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which kept the abbey safe. So, did its effect. Given gnolls were afraid of random strange creature making people fall over and bleed. They are dumb creatures. Most of
They
them.
are.
Sure, the group wants to move out then. Okay. Does Vickers share the information he got with everyone?
Good question.
Just kind of taking stock of everything before you leave.
No, I understand. I think for now the king is probably the only one that he would tell because he is quite aware that this is right in secret. So I think the king is the only one that he would basically tell for now. And if it becomes something where he would wish to have a more permanent role in Theo's life, then perhaps then he will tell everyone else.
Okay.
Ammanas will respond and say that such a rare find in the population is certainly something to keep an eye on. If not only for the goodness out of Vicus's heart, could be useful in the future. Who knows when, the uprising might need another psyker capable of, what the kid seems capable of. And under the tutelage of Vicus, he could grow to become quite powerful.
Yes. It might be also something that he might basically call on the expertise of Ceres, because at the end of the day, yes, he has a psionic nature, but also a sorcerer. So might be something that she may be able to help with too.
And your disciplines together.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you only need to know.
Yeah, I'm all over.
But so you four, Ryden and Eliza all set out then. Leaving this nice little quaint little area to itself for the moment.
Are we followed when we leave?
Hmm?
Are we followed when we leave?
Good question.
That is a good question. You don't think you're being followed?
We actively check.
Yeah.
That'd be perception.
If you want to actively see if there's someone following you, you can.
Yes, I think Vickers would lend his advantage to Zed here on this roll.
Sure.
Both of them working together.
Suspicious, because it's suspicious.
Yes.
I will give myself also a guidance. Ugh.
Guess we don't know.
11. Eh. Maybe Zed is too in his memories of to notice anything.
As said, you don't think anything's following you.
He gives the same thumbs up that he gave in the Dwarven Mime to Vickers.
I mean, that was fine then, so I guess he has no reason not to believe. So.
Well, the group moves off then, swiftly, to the spot that Red had been sighted, and apparently magic had been performed. It's an area off in the forest. It's not particularly too interesting initially. It's heading down like a small little trail down into the side of the woods. Something that clearly the hunters had used a few times. And you see the remnants of what appears to be a campsite just in the clearing. You know, the remnants of a fire. People have clearly piled some like rocks and stones to sit around it on. Remnants of where a tent used to be. And a strange black scorch mark covering the sides of one of the rocks. Scorch mark that definitely to you looks like a mana crystal has burst here. Though for what purpose? That is a question.
Yeah, I don't know anything about magic, so
I
I'll
s-
leave
I
this
s-
to the experts.
I suppose it's the perfect time for Ceres to reach out with her powers.
I shall help you.
Feel.
Roll with advantage.
No idea what magic is. What even is that?
Magic never matter.
Mind over magic.
Oh, there we go.
What year is this?
Magic. So yeah, I guess Ceres will do some arcane investigating.
Investigation.
Yeah,
The guesstimate.
but more with the arcane, you know. But yeah, investigating.
Go
ahead.
Let's see what you're able to divine.
Did you say that Zed was helping?
Yeah, you got
Then-
with advantages.
Then 19. Oh, what about guidance? Is Zed kind enough to give Ceres guidance as well?
Yeah, if Darks allows me to give it him before, like after the roll.
I'll allow it in this case.
It's, you know, dirty 20.
You both begin to study the campsite, trying to figure out what happened here. To be sure, the intel was correct. Certainly magic has been used here. It kind of takes you a moment to consider exactly what it is that's been done here. But it appears that someone has spent some time performing a few ritual spells at this location previously. Working away with arcane power. And the nature of them you find interesting. Divination comes up. But as does necromancy as well. Manipulation of life and manipulation of death. And as a ritual, that doesn't leave very many possibilities.
No, not massively.
Which is somewhat worrying.
Somewhat a lot worrying, really.
And as all of you are kind of searching, you realise there's something there, actually. Your magical sense is drawing you closer to it. A strange... It's an unusual necklace made out of what appears to be bone of some kind.
Okay.
Interesting though, in the shape of an elven rune.
All right.
The witch.
Oh my god.
Let's not touch it, but as in it's carved into the shape of an elven rune, or has an elven
Yes.
rune? Okay.
Well,
What-
kind of the bone's got rune carved in. It's a bit of both.
What rune?
The rune the runes as you take an examination. At least the best you can without picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to. One moment. Let me just double check exactly which rune will be on this. It is the. It is the Elven rune for the sun, of all things.
Room for the sun. Okay.
Yes. Which, definitely not the kind of what you're probably expecting. On its reverse side, however, is also, from what you can tell, because you can probably knock it over with a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Appears to be, on its reverse, they've carved the rune for the moon on the back of it.
Someone's really into the duality here.
The necklace is slightly scorched, as if something came here to attack. Some kind of holy energy, looks like, attacked whoever was wearing it.
Okay. Okay.
And you're not really sure too much what happened after that.
Is that near the black scorched boulder or rock? You said. A mana crystal seemingly popped next to.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess Ceres will then look to the group. They basically deliver her findings of seems like some divination and necromancy was performed here under ritual. There's not many spells like that. Or not many necromantic spells that are ritualized. However, it seems like there was some holy damage that seemed to be dealt upon whoever wore this necklace. And possibly could have caused the demise of that person if they were in the middle of something. Perhaps the crystal that they were holding was too strong for them without a ritual. After all, you can cast a spell with a ritual and not burn yourself too badly.
Lucas is actually very impressed. I mean, anytime Cyrus just says stuff, he's like, yeah, I believe what she's saying. I don't know shit about magic. That sounds cool.
Wait, we shall turn you into a newt now.
No! That does sound very dire. I'm curious if there are other locations where similar magic was used.
Perhaps. Though, what is, Duck, the necklace, being
Mhm.
elven of make,
Yep.
or at very least elven of runes, did the design of the necklace, presumably high elves have different sort of a different style to wood elves and wood elves to blood elves, right?
Yes.
What sort of feel, design, appearance
It's,
does this give?
it's definitely not high elven, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare you'll find the high elves carving anything into bone unless it's like dragon bone.
I'm presuming this is blood elf work.
It could be wood elf, it could be blood elf. It could go either way on it. it's hastily done. Whoever's made this, so not a professional craft.
Okay.
It's like someone's handmade like components for stuff.
Is it magic? Is it magical in itself? Does it contain?
It is not innately magical, no,
Not innately magical. Okay.
as far as you're aware.
All right. Well, so will say the necklace it's a duality between sun on one side and the moon on the other. It could be in a similar light as them using both divination and necromancy in their rituals. As far as I'm aware, you can bring someone back with just necromancy. Divination magic isn't always needed. But this is a necklace made either by wood elves or possibly a blood elf. But whoever made it was not an expert. Wasn't done slowly and intricately.
So maybe the Blood Witch, but unlikely? Is that how I'm to understand the assertion?
Maybe the Blood Witch, but unlikely from the fact that I don't feel like the wearer is alive anymore.
How many? I feel like elves are rare, but here we have another elven spell user trying to use necromancy and then blown up. You know,
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
I mean, wood elves are
it's like
transient, aren't they?
transient.
They
Evidence.
travel.
Yes, we are nomads,
Yeah.
but like we travel a lot.
Has there been
But
like a
usually
great one-off migration lately?
They've moved
no,
south
we
for the
try
winter.
to not. We try not to disturb the civilization.
Hmm.
Right, it's right around now, by the way. It's about sunset. You've got a nice orange sky and kind of backlighting everything.
Hmm.
I have a question, Dark.
Mhm.
If the amulet didn't kill, or the divination didn't kill the wearer of the amulet, is there any way to track where they left?
Easily? There's not an easy way for doing tracking here.
I don't expect that, but I'm just curious.
You know, if it didn't, if the wearer of the necklace didn't die, it's possible they might have tried making a new one. That's a route you could try going for. If you've got anything that can help you find objects like that.
Not today. Not today, sadly.
But otherwise, nothing obvious. Without having actual magic designed for like checking over magic as well, you can't really get like a full detailed accuracy of what happened here. So,
Yeah,
but I don't
I
think any of you had detect magic on preparation.
Yeah, not today. But I can rep it depending what we want. Good to know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness happening in this area, it seems.
The tightly packed area of fuckery is what I'm seeing.
Yes. It is the. You're muted, Valky.
Oh, my bad. I was just laughing. Don't worry.
Well,
The,
that's a good.
the dukedom of fuckery.
Actually, I will note though, Vicus, you get a
Yes.
scratching in the back of your head.
Oh. Is it familiar?
Yes, very familiar.
All right. Is it
It's
Theo?
Theo's connection.
All right. What's up with
Apparently,
Theo?
his mind can still reach up this far.
That's how far away is it? A mile? More?
You're about a mile and a half away.
Yeah. Wow. That's more than Vickers can do right now. He's impressed. Yeah. What's he want?
In the bushes. In some of the bushes, there's bodies.
Ah, well, I'll point that out to the others.
Sorry, what? What? This kid, man.
Huh.
Did
It's
he
gonna
kill
be
them?
a damn prodigy.
Vicus will thank him for the information. And we'll probably have a query on. He might not know, but how is he able to stretch out his mind this far?
That is a good question. If you're asking him, he doesn't know. He just.
Okay. Can Vicus kind of have a educated guess based on experience why that might be the case?
Honestly, Vickers isn't sure. It's telepathy is an odd thing when it comes to powers. It functions a little differently for everyone. Like how
Yeah.
with Vickers, you can't you can do telepathy with multiple people, but you can't change who it is.
Yeah.
Well, he's able to seemingly change it quickly. It's entirely possible since he's got the mark on you. Maybe he can just keep it going on you for a while.
That is interesting. I like that. All right.
Like maybe range isn't so much as an issue more than just the fact of he probably
Having a mark on
if it
someone.
breaks, he probably can't put it back on you now.
I understand. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he'll point that out. Go take a look.
All right, let's look for bodies.
Given the fact you know this here and there's a bunch of you, I'm not going to make you roll perception checks. You can find bodies if you look around.
Okay.
You will find in some of the nearby bodies a group of skeletonized people wearing what appears to be Inquisition robes. And I mean skeletonized, like radiant damage has melted their flesh off their bones.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Radiant damage the priest. That's oddly hilarious.
Ironic. Yes.
Ironic, yeah.
I guess don't mispronounce that prayer. I guess. Gosh.
Yeah.
The thing is, obviously speaking, priests probably wouldn't be using mana crystals because they don't need it.
No.
Well, I'm just confused now.
Well, yeah, so there was a person casting rituals either before or after a bunch of Inquisition priests showed up who got obliterated. And then
By radiant though.
by Radiant, I mean, the person could cast divination. I mean, it's divination.
Radiant damage, like radiant
mean-
magic. That's more cleric than wizard.
It is.
But you could be a cleric of an evil, or a.
Suppose.
Yeah, dark hair guy, yeah, sure. I mean, cleric of Rider, right? Could be. Death and perseverance.
Like we have
An elf.
Yeah,
Well,
but we
an
have
elf,
the old elf temple to Ranthala, right?
yeah.
That's not
True.
necessarily.
Oh, goddess of mysteries, learning, and assassination.
Yeah,
That's
so I mean
true.
this and
Like-
it's an elf.
But that
Like it
doesn't.
can be any cleric.
But that doesn't
Like
bring.
they would have access to radiant. Anyways.
Yeah,
easy.
I mean that doesn't bring
But
like
yeah,
the
it's
sun
the
and
it's the
moon duality.
yeah, it's the combination of like elven trinket, sun and moon duality, ritual of divination and necromancy, and then like blasting things with radiant
Yeah.
attack, presumably.
I mean, we're also
Oh.
assuming there is only one mage or one person against these priests.
Yeah, two could be working in concert or more.
Yeah, there could be. Yeah, there could be two or more.
But the witch is like super powerful, probably, right? And we know that she's like sneaking around, maybe looking for the for the temple of the elven goddess, right? So conceivable that she could be some sort of acolyte.
Also, as an important note for the mages of the group, blood magic tends to leave a necromantic aura lying around, so...
Yeah. But the
So she's
but
trying
the
to.
only necromantic I mean, we've not seen necromantic, have we? We've only seen.
You've seen necromancy here, my point.
We've seen necromancy, yeah, but in a ritual format.
Well, maybe she's trying to like combine with the divination. Maybe she's trying to pinpoint the temple of the goddess, and she's using blood magic and divination to try to find it. She was interrupted, and then just blasted them with some sort of, I don't know. Maybe she summoned spirit guardians or something that does like radiant damage. She just shredded everything to pieces.
Trust me, we've had previous clerics who have shown how powerful that spell is.
Oh, I know. This is the tool of genocide. That spell.
We did actually murder 2 tribes with that spell.
Reminds me of the Sisters of Twilight from Warhammer. It's like, oh, conflict, so dreadful, and it's just they shoot death arrows that just explode anything. Garland it with flowers while I murder you. It's like, oh. But yeah, we that fits the bill. What it could be. That's my guess, at least, given this. Which is an acolyte of the goddess of assassination and knowledge. She's trying to find the temple up here because that labyrinth is full of awesome power. She's using a divination ritual, fueling it with her blood magic, leaving divination and necromantic aura. She gets interrupted and gets blasted. Is the sun and moon duality, was that any way significant to the elven goddess in question here?
Not that you're aware of.
What about other other elven gods?
I mean, there are definitely elven gods of the sun and moon. That's a thing.
But are they like a duality? Like, you know what I mean?
I'll give this as free information because there's something you, I think, if something else, Zed would probably be aware of, given his background.
Okay.
The blood elves are known to have a god of twilight who embodies both the power of the sun and the god of the moon.
Okay. This might be a jump, guys, but we have Inquisition getting destroyed with radiant magic. We do have a blood of apostate on the run. Possibly they ran into each other, or I don't know. I mean, that's one possibility in my head that could be have happened here.
Yes.
I think it's highly likely. This area's within it on the road also.
Oh, well. Yeah, I think we're done here. I think we've learned all we can.
So what's our next plan?
You still learnt something though.
Yeah, we did. We did. That is still valuable information.
I think next order of business is probably start looking around for the knoll.
Yes, but Dark did mention it was sunset,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So the
Want to
question is
camp?
whether we should retire and then go in the morning or
Hmm.
not.
Would it be a huge loss of time if we backtrack to the abbey and maybe
Not
stay
to
there?
the Abbey, that would be a rather quick trip back.
Might as well do that then, like rather than sleep just out
It's
here.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, back
They're
to,
born-
going back to the abbey will take you maybe like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Let's do that then. Let's impose on the dear sister once more.
By rights of hospitality, she offered it to you, which means so you can get food and board for a night.
All right. Go back and we take a long rest.
She's kind of required to offer you hospitality. She would
Wonderful.
do so if she wasn't required as well, but
Never say that religion ever did anything for you.
the group can go, and I actually want to take a long rest then, so you can.
Yes.
And we will, as I think that's where we'll stop for tonight then.
Hmm.
Okay.
As next time we will plot your assault against the Knoll outpost.
Oh yes.
And hopefully in aid of you, be able to find out more clues of where their actual headquarters is.
You know, those gnolls are pretty dangerous. I'm
They were
thinking.
dangerous.
I'm thinking I might need my shield for this. We'll see. I mean, they hit pretty goddamn hard.
You mean Inquisitor in front of you on your hand?
Hmm?
Your shields. Just hold up an
yeah.
Inquisitor.
Also-
take from the Inquisitor's witness the shield. Yeah.
I'm also assuming you guys would have taken anything valuable off of the bodies you found.
Yes.
Oh sure. I didn't realize. I thought it were like blasted to
Completely
skeletons.
skeletonized, but if they're
They were
like
skeletonized,
half
but
melt,
they
then
still have some things on them.
Oh sure.
oh yeah.
Loot the
Don't
bodies.
pilfer.
Like a couple of it is just like weaponry, which is no good for you guys, but maybe might be good for any guards you recruit.
Yes.
Sure.
There's also just a bag of money.
Oh.
Bags of money are also good. Also, the weapons are good because Sir Bolton is gathering
Yes.
stuff. So yeah.
I'll add an extra 60 gold pieces onto the loot pile.
Oof. Yes. We're rich.
The
Whoa.
148 gold pieces, 26 silver, and 27 coppers.
My
Yum.
So much
God.
money.
Such glory. Other than that, they've got some basic stuff there. Like they've got some let's see, longbow, crossbow.
Mm-hmm. All these are very, very pricey items that can be sold for vast profits.
They got some basic armor there as well. That's a thing. One of them had a breastplate.
Ooh,
That's actually pretty valuable. That one is.
that is pretty valuable. Yeah.
The rest of them just had like chain.
Anyone need a breastplate? Anyone uses?
Nope.
Is that light or medium? I forget.
Medium.
I use medium.
You want a breastplate?
What's medium? Oh.
It's 14 plus dex mod, no disadvantage on stealth.
I don't know about that disadvantage on stealth.
It's
No disadvantage.
Oh,
It's just 14 plus dex.
Lighter than scale mail, but 8 times the cost. Yeah, any gear you don't use will just be donated to Sir Bolton's I need to recruit men fund. Because obviously, you kind of want to have soldiers.
Yeah.
Unless you plan
I
to do this
mean-
by or assassination.
I mean, it would give me one more AC.
Yeah, dude, take it. One more and see is a lot.
Might as well.
Yeah, for 5e banded system, 1 AC is
Yeah.
a huge boost.
As now we're going to have Zed standing there in this kind of glorious steel breastplate with the symbol of the father emblazoned on it.
Seems
I'm gonna be
reasonable.
changing that symbol quite a lot.
First thing when you guys get back to the mining town, Smith, I need this symbol taken off.
Don't druids explode when they touch metal, or is that just
Second edition.
No.
Second edition, yeah.
And third edition, pretty much.
I'm gonna give away my Saint shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, one AC is very nice. I mean, I need a full plate to do one more.
Yeah, they also had they also got like a pair of shields if anyone cares. But think people already had
Uh,
shields. If they wanted them.
I think am I proficient in shields?
Mm.
No, I'm not. Never mind then.
The point is, they were armed fighters, kind of. Well, not actual fighters, but you get the point.
I mean,
Warriors.
you can still use a shield even if you are not proficient with. I don't think you get anything bad necessarily.
Don't I? No.
I'm not sure.
Well, then what's the point of proficiency then?
I don't think shield proficiency is like a thing.
If you wear armor that you lack
Shield
proficiency
proficiency is
with,
a
you have
thing.
disadvantage on any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll that involves strength or dex, and you can't cast spells. So yes, I need shield proficiency. Otherwise, I can't do much at all. Because it's so unwieldy that it basically negatively affects things that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm double checking the rules right now. Yeah, if you take penalties on strength and dex based things.
All right.
So
I don't know, if we ever get some downtime, maybe I can pay money to train. But for now, it doesn't matter.
so we've got Ward and Psychic Knife.
Yes.
A classic clearly around the assassination circles is Board.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah. For sure. It's like that. What's it called? It was like a rogue assassin's prestige class in 3.5. It's like a rogue with like a two-handed axe or whatever. It's like a sneak attack with a great
It was just
weapon.
more 3.5. There was no restrictions on what you sneak attack with.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
called like Ghost-Faced Killer or something like that. It was called.
Oh, Space Killer.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm gonna change the breastplate symbolic for my Judenil symbolic based on my
I
tattoos.
mean, once you get to a certain stage, you can easily have that changed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna base it on my tattoos.
But sadly, this
Sorry for the usher.
little hamlet doesn't have anyone capable of fixing that for you.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
I mean, Lord Raiden is a tinkerer. He can do it, right?
I mean, that's technically true. If you wanted to do a breastplate, he does have the tool for it, but
Wow.
you know. He went with some symbolic and adding some other textures in there.
really
Do it.
in details.
I technically could use the longbow. Like I'm proficient with it, but like I have range spells already, so it's kind of like meh.
Oh, they got D&D tools is back online. Yes,
Hey.
that website was offline for so long due to Wizards of the Coast copyright.
Yeah.
In Wizard of the Coast, man. Why they got to
Not
ruin a
not
good
that I
thing?
need the website because I don't think I'm ever returning to 3.5 ever.
No, I don't know what would it take to return me to 3.5. That I'm not sure that exists.
Still waiting to do. What's this? Skull and Shackles.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, basically that could probably be done in Pathfinder 2 system now.
Ew.
They've got second edition Pathfinder, which at least is more cleaned up.
Don't talk to me about that shit.
But yeah, next time prepare for combat, I suppose, and you'll be attacking the Knolls.
Yes. Let's get 'em, boys.
Always
Your
prepared for combat.
relatively small group. I mean, you'll have a couple of dwarves stopping you from getting flanked, which will be nice. So
Hey. Good old dwarves. Yeah, we'll see. They're quite tough. They
hurt.
they do. They
They
have
do, yeah.
lots of damage and they're decently armored. Not like the easiest to hit. They
I mean,
have that like,
it's a bad luck with your rolls.
yeah, that was fucking miserable.
Yeah, they are fairly chunky, so the amount of damage they deal is quite high.
Yeah.
Especially that shaman when they can actually land those hits.
Yeah, and remember from Out of the Abyss that Flint, like super knoll that exists. Has like 7-headed whip or whatever it has. Ugh. This stuff. Well, I think I'm gonna head towards bed. It's been a long week.
That's
Mhm.
absolutely fine.
Sure has.
good.
Uh,